Welcome to this edition of Tech Talk. Tyres are often misunderstood, so I'm down here at the Toyo warehouse to give you guys a closer look and better understanding of tyres. Their main role is to provide the contact patch between the car and the ground. They provide the grip for the car as well as transfer the power to the ground so the car can move forward. Firstly, let's take a look at some of the parts of a tyre so we can better understand how they work. From the outside, there's the bead of the tyre, which holds it to the rim, the sidewall of the tyre, and the tread area. The tread area and the sidewall dimensions are what determine the overall size of the tyre. These measurements can be found on the sidewall of all passenger tyres along with other vital information. The first number determines the width of the tyre measured from the edge of each sidewall. This tyre is 235 millimeters in width. Second number is the profile of the tyre. The profile is expressed as a percentage of the width. This tyre is a 40 profile tyre, which means the height of the sidewall is 40% of the width, which is 235. So all up, it's 94 millimeters in height. The last number is the size of the rim that the tyre is designed for. This number combination is what determines the overall static diameter of the tyre. So let's work out the overall diameter of this tyre. We already know the section height of this is 96 millimeters, so we double this figure and convert it to inches, giving 7.6. We then add this to the diameter of the rim to get an overall diameter of 25.6 inches. When upgrading tyres and rims, it's important to make sure you keep the same overall diameter. If you increase the rim size, you have to decrease the profile. Also, if you increase the width, the profile has to decrease as well to maintain the same overall diameter. Now let's use the Nissan 200SX as an example. From factory, they have a 16-inch rim with a 205/55 profile tyre. That gives an overall rolling diameter of 25 inches. Now if we upgrade to a 19-inch tyre that's 265 in width, we need to use a 30 series profile tyre to keep the overall diameters the same. Now let's have a look at the parts that make up the inside of the tyre. The first layer is the inner lining. This inner lining provides a protective layer to stop the air from seeping through the rubber compound. The second layer is called the casing or the carcass. This forms the basic structure that the tyre is built off. The casing is made up of one or two layers of different fabric cord, which is called plies. The most common fabric ply is polyester cord. The cords in a radial tyre run perpendicular to the tread. The plies are coated with rubber to help them bond with other components. Most passenger tyres have two casing plies. Next is the steel belts, which reinforce the area under the tread to keep the tread area flat on the road and add strength to this section of the tyre. The bead also contains a bundle of steel wires to give it its strength. The casing cords wrap around this bundle of steel wires. The layer on top of the steel belts is the cap ply, which provides extra strength and stiffness to the tread area. The last layer is the tread area and the sidewall. The sidewall and the tread area use different types of rubber compounds. The exact composition of tyre rubber compounds is a closely guarded secret by tyre companies. They are made up of a combination of natural and synthetic rubber, along with sulfur, oils, and waxes, to name a few. Another component is carbon black, which is a reinforcing agent and gives the rubber compound its colour. Silica tread compounds are often referred to by tyre companies when talking about high-performance tyres. Silica is used as a replacement for carbon black to increase the performance of a tread compound. It increases grip levels and flexibility at low temperatures without increasing rolling resistance. It does all of this while still offering good wear properties. The amount of silica and its bond strength with the rubber is what's called its molecular polymer level. In the case of the Toyo Proxys T1R, it's referred to as an ultra-high molecular polymer. Basically what this means is there's a high amount of silica and its bond strength with the rubber is very high. Now that we've looked at all the different parts that make up a tyre, let's have a look at how they affect the performance. Firstly, the width of the tyre helps determine the tyre's grip level. Obviously, the wider the tyre, the more grip it can provide. The sidewall is a major factor in the performance of a tyre. The stiffer the sidewall is, the less it deforms under cornering loads, therefore increasing turn-in and cornering ability. It also increases the predictability of a tyre under hard cornering. However, with less deformation comes a harsher ride. One of the ways to increase the stiffness of the sidewall is to have a lower profile tyre. As you can see, this low profile tyre has a very stiff sidewall, and this is why many factory performance cars come with big rims and low profile tyres. Another way to increase the stiffness of the sidewall is to make it thicker. You can also make it stronger by using a heavier ply in the casing. The tread design also determines the grip level of the tyres, especially in wet road conditions. However, tread design is a bit of a science in its own right, so we'll save that for another edition. The type of tread compound used in a tyre determines its grip levels as well as its performance. Let's take a look at semi-slicks, because unlike conventional road tyres, semi-slicks are designed with optimum performance in mind. Semi-slicks use a much softer compound than conventional road tyres to give increased grip. They're also designed to operate at higher temperatures associated with motorsport use. This is why you have to warm semi-slicks up to get the best performance out of them. This is great for extreme levels of grip, however the trade-off is highly reduced tyre life and increased road noise. Semi-slicks also have a much thicker and a much stiffer sidewall. This is great for turn-in and cornering, but the trade-off is it has a much harsher ride. Semi-slicks also tend to have a thicker ply inside, making them much stronger, and they also don't deform as much under hard cornering loads. The trade-off with all of this though is that semi-slicks are generally heavier than a normal road tyre. All of these factors help determine the right tyre for your ride. No matter what your car or your driving style, Toyo has the right tyre and size to match. For more information, check out our product review from the last edition or check out their website, www.toyo.com.au. In our next edition, we're going to be grabbing a bunch of these high-performance tyres and putting them to the test on the street and on the racetrack. So stay tuned for our next edition for the Toyo product test. And remember, stock standard is poor standard.